Thank you for joining us today. We're very happy to have Alec Langstein with us today. He's my for our purposes. So he's my boxing coach, and he's really good, and he's tough.
I thought you were going to say something about torture. Anyway.
No.
As you can tell, we're very informal today.
Yeah.
So, Alec is a graduate of James Madison University, a certified personal trainer, and a certified rock steady boxing coach. Thanks for joining us today, Alec.
Thanks for having me, squad.
And we better treat him right, or we're gonna have lots of squads.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I know where you live.
That's unfortunate. Anyway. Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead. You go.
Well, Alec, you devoted a lot of your time to Parkinson's. What brought you to Parkinson's?
So originally out of college, I was exclusively working with senior citizens, doing one-on-one personal training. That's where like my personal training company kind of started, was in-home one-on-one with seniors. And then my aunt has a boxing gym in Westchester, New York, and she does a rock steady boxing program there. So she just kind of felt like it was an appropriate fit for me. And she took a few nudges for me to kind of, figure it out and do some research. But eventually when I did it, it's just one thing kind of led to another. And then most of my pretty much all my one-on-one personal training now is all Parkinson's, and do the rock steady classes, and just kind of been building ever since I got the certification. So Parkinson's is all I do now.
And it's been almost 4 years, is that right?
Almost 4 years. Pretty crazy. Almost 4 years.
What have you seen? What kind of results have you noticed?
Everyone gets better. Everyone kind of just, it's always the mindset coming into it. You could just tell by people's attitudes about, how their attitude towards the original class. And even you, I know you were like dying on the ground, like you're probably thinking, what the hell am I doing? Can I even do this? And obviously now completely different. And so big difference, I think mentally is one big thing, just being more open and seeing people's faces light up, I think is one of the best things for me as a coach on the other side, seeing it that you guys may not notice, compared to we see the first day and people a little bit more reserved. And then definitely the physical part, obviously, think control of your movements, better balance, stronger. I know your punches definitely got a lot stronger for sure since day one. Turning on muscles that have gotten forgotten over the years, figuring out like where they are, what they do, how to use them, and how they all connect. Like your hips connect to your arm when you throw a punch, and how it all works together. And seeing all those results, it's humbling for me to see, and I love it.
That's awesome. I've experienced a lot of a great benefit from it.
Yep.
Well, and there was a lot of trepidation, I think, Alec, when people hear boxing, they go, boxing, come on, no way. Can you give us like a few minutes of why boxing is so helpful with people for people with Parkinson's?
Yeah. So a boxer's workout, when they're training, they focus on a lot of things: balance, hand-eye coordination, focus, reaction time, strength, reaching out for your punches. So all these things that boxer workout focuses on his workout are all things that people with Parkinson's struggle with. So all just kind of fit in together perfectly. The one thing of boxing, a regular boxing workout, we don't do is we don't hit each other in the face. Everything we do is non-contact. So it's either heavy bags, freestanding bags, or focus mitts. So we don't hit each other in the head. I'd be a little bit counterintuitive. So that's obviously one of the main things. One of the main questions I get is, do we hit each other in the head? No, we do not. So everything we do is non-contact. But again, all those things that a boxer workout focuses on his workout, all things that people with Parkinson's struggle with. So it was just a perfect fit.
Alec, can you walk us through a typical workout for RSB?
Yeah. So we always start off with, before COVID, we always gather around a circle. We had like a question of the day, any announcements, any new, comments. Someone tried a new drug, someone, found a holistic way to do this or something, any new information that anybody has, usually how the class would start. And then the question of the day. And that was really good for people. So a lot of people don't talk, and there's a soft voice. So you have to speak out in front of 20 other people and speak loudly and clearly and socialize. So that was like a kind of good way to start the class. And then we always do the same exact warm up before every single class that focuses on everything, upper body, core, getting some back cracks in there, getting blood flow into your legs, arms. So we do the same routine every single class, just so it's kind of ingrained in your head. And then if you're at home, if you feel a little stiff, you can make it kind of like a morning routine, because it hits everything, So that's the main reason we do every class. Just, I don't want you to forget it. And so we do our normal routine, warm-up routine, and then we always do some sort of exercise in class. Before COVID, we did a game or something, and we do kind of like a circuit focused on a specific symptom of Parkinson's. So we can do a whole circuit focused on balance, a whole circuit focused on footwork, reaction time. So always do a little warm-up, something with that. And then we do box every single day. Sometimes we'll just go straight from our warm-up to a boxing workout. Just depends, how I do it when I write it up. And then take you through the boxing workout, and we can integrate some of the other stuff that we're doing. So if our warm-up exercise was balance, I'll work balance into the boxing workout somehow. If it was footwork, we'll integrate footwork into the boxing workout. And then sometimes we end with a finisher. I'm sure you guys can comment on that. And that's just kind of like a little cherry on top to let you know that, you're alive and well, and you can still feel all your muscles and stuff. And so, yeah, and then sometimes we do post-class stretch. Depends on time, because there's so much stuff I want to do that fit in like an hour, 15 minutes. And yeah, so it just kind of depends every single day. I usually have like a base main symptom that I want to focus on: balance, strength. One day could just be straight cardio. I love those days. So yeah, it just depends on what our theme is for that day.
What about the people of all abilities? Are you able to accommodate to that?
Yes. So we've trained people with as young as 20s with Parkinson's, all the way to late 80s. People like Karl, obviously, we've had it for a long time. I've had a lot of people who've called me the day they get diagnosed. Their neurologist gave them hey, call this guy, and they called me right away. So it just depends. You see a lot of different people who've had it for, again, as long as you to just diagnosed. So we've seen it all. Definitely seen it all.
How do you accommodate for the different levels?
Yeah, so different levels. So everything we do can be made modified to be harder or easier. Just depends. Like there's burpees. I'm sure you guys know, there's ways to make it way easier. There's also ways to make it way harder. So it can be modified up or down. And then for people who are a little bit farther along in the disease, we require in class that they have a corner person, a corner man, corner woman. It's usually just a spouse or caretaker that's by their side at all times, just as an extra set of eyes, since it is a group class. And they're just by their side, just making sure everything's okay. And that's what we have for those people. And then, yeah, everything else can be made modified. So that's the beauty of boxing and the workouts that we do.
Well, Alec, that kind of speaks to questions some people might have about starting this type of workout. They might have some trepidation because of the fact that they may use a assistive device, or their leg strength isn't that great.
Yeah.
How do you kind of encourage them to
usually it's funny. Every single time someone comes in with a walker, we always tell them that they're going to be selling it on Craigslist in like the next few weeks. And usually they do. Usually, well, I mean, like people who've come in with the walkers, I don't think anyone's ever come back, months later with it. Usually after 2 weeks, they kind of get rid of it and that's it. But you have to accommodate for those people. I mean, again, it can be made modified easier or harder. we do group kind of people. So I'm obviously not going to partner a young person with like a really old person most of the time. We're going to kind of group everything kind of together, same kind of skill level, cardio level, PD level, just to kind of have a little competition in the same general area. But yeah, it definitely can, it can be made for anybody. That's the beauty of it. And the people who need a little extra attention, we have the corner people for them. And yeah.
What do you tell someone who's never boxed before?
No one in our class ever had any boxing experience. That's what I'll tell them. Everyone, I mean, we've had almost over 100 people come in. No, not one of them ever was like, yeah, I was a former boxer. Everyone's new. It's always funny, like, oh, no way. But yeah, it's easy to learn. I mean, it's just part of boxing is the cognitive part of it. So each number equals a certain punch. So when you yell at certain number of combinations, you have to throw that punching combination, brain, body working together, that whole thing. And yeah, so pretty cool.
Well, that kind of hits on one thing that I've noticed in being home with Karl and doing workouts, that intentionality of, the number with the, there could be a tendency to go automatic and like, you get used to the combination. But can you talk a little bit about, that intention piece, that being intentional with their movements?
Yeah. Just the cognitive part of it we're talking about?
Yeah, the thing I've noticed is that when Karl is really thinking about the punch versus other distractions, like being very focused in that moment, it's very controlled. But once the kind of like starts to take a holiday,
brain starts to go away.
This is easy, all of a sudden
all the quality of the punches goes down and everything. Oh yeah, that's why I got to keep yelling at you guys. Oh yeah,
well, during COVID, I'm yelling.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, exactly what you said. I mean, people get easily distracted, or they just, get a little bit lazy, or they get tired. That's kind of when usually mistakes are made or injuries happen, obviously. It's when you lose your focus or you get a little too confident. But yeah, the cognitive part of it's great. I mean, I've tried to be loud as possible. And in class, I'm sure you guys all know that the neighbors next door at the gym always hate me for being too loud. But you guys need to, let you know that you're working out. It's intense. So yeah, I am on you guys' butts about form because it's very important, and it's leads me to obviously how everything in the body's connected. You don't just throw punches with your arms; you throw it with your hips, right? The core is activated, and kind of turning all those muscles on and having your whole body working together, rather than just like using your arm. Use your whole body, trying to get everything connected as to one whole system. I think is the beauty of boxing too.
Well, and that kind of talks a little bit about the stiffness and tightness that living with Parkinson's can have, and that the hip and the pelvis and the core, all that, and
the core, the rotation.
Yeah, and that.
So we definitely work on that a lot in class. I mean, even some of the warm-ups you do, if you do like a mobility warm-up, especially like the spine, the thoracic part of your spine, so the middle, we work on that. I mean, because that's the problem like most of America has, but especially you guys, it's obviously a little bit more exaggerated. So I love working on that pretty much like every single day. I mean, I try to do something with that. But yeah, so people think stiffness, you just think stiffness kind of like your arms, like reaching out, stiffness in the legs. But that core, man, you guys know, I mean, the stiffness in the core can play a huge role in especially balance. Exactly. I mean, balance is obviously huge. And all of it's pretty much core strength. A lot of it's core strength. So
for falls, this you would say this is good for falls.
Absolutely.
Preventing falls.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Because again, with boxing, a lot of the balances, it's a lot of weight shifts. So you're shifting your weight forward, back, side to side, and especially the side to side movements and the hips and the core. It's all connected. So a lot of your balance actually is like the side of your hip, one of those muscles that causes the leg, the hip stability, which is a huge part of the balance. So I mean, it's the footwork, not being stiff on your feet, kind of not being flat-footed, kind of being light on your feet. So with boxing, we do like forward steps, back steps, side steps. So we try to work all angles, because in life, you're not just going forward, back. You're going to be going at angles. You're scooting your way through like a movie theater, through the seats. Pardon me. You're going side to side, stuff like that. If you're going to the restaurant, you're standing up, you're turning, you're taking side steps. So that's why boxing is great. Obviously, everything's not just forward and back. It's side to side. It's weight shifts left to right, weight shifts forward and back. So that's all balance is when you're out there in the world. It's, you're reacting to things, you're moving your body in different directions, and being able to have control of your body when you're going in certain directions, and having certain outside forces, weight shifts, dictating your balance.
Also, too, I think I hear a little bit of it, but you haven't said it yet. The perception of the body in space.
Especially, yeah, exactly. Perception of body in the space. Yeah. So I mean, if you guys ever tried like doing a one leg balance with your eyes open, it's completely different if you close your eyes. So it's just perception of where you are, and having control of everything. Yeah. If you close your eyes when you're doing one leg balance, you're just, it's a whole other world in there, so yeah.
So the cognitive really isn't, we're not talking like, learning new stuff,
Yeah, no.
We're talking about that whole, the stuff the mind does in the back,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Just kind of natural, make it natural. Exactly.
One other thing that is affected with the autonomic nervous system, this automatic nervous system, is blood pressure. And, obviously exercise is great for blood pressure.
Yep.
But maybe talk a little bit about, what people, and it is something that the orthostatic hypotension or hypertension can affect people with Parkinson's. What have you noticed with your boxers dealing with
Yeah.
that?
So a handful of clients have blood pressure issues, mostly with the low blood pressure, because some medications can lower it. And then obviously when you work out, that actually lowers your blood pressure even more. So they struggle a little bit like that. And then some people actually have the PD medication, which lowers the blood pressure. And then they have the hypertension medication that tries to raise it back up. So it's just everything counterbalancing each other. So just in my opinion, blood pressure is one of those things that you can really manage with something as simple as hydration. I've had people who just got off their medication and they religiously just drink a lot more water, and they're completely different people. And then simple changes like diet. If you have low blood pressure, getting some sodium into your body. If you have high blood pressure, don't drink that super salty drink, or eat that super salty food for lunch. But blood pressure is huge, and managing it, I think it's just the natural way is just so much more better than just shoving pills down your mouth, because it is mostly a thing that you do that you can control naturally rather than with medication. But know that when you do exercise, your blood pressure is going to go down for sure. It's like almost 100% guarantee it's going to go down. So if you work out and you notice that you have really low blood pressure when you work out, have a Gatorade nearby, something with high salt content. Obviously Gatorade does, have that by your side just in case you feel a little, woozy, fatigued, or have a little vertigo or anything like that. Definitely.
As I just told you, I heard the tip about V8 being a really
the V8, in the morning, yeah.
Yeah, V8 can really have a positive effect on.
Well, and this seems counterintuitive after growing all the generations that have been told to eat a low sodium diet, So that's certainly something to talk to your doctor about. Sure. But it's much better to buy a Gatorade than it is to have to go take additional medications when you're already taking a lot of medications.
Also, when you're eating out, if you eat out a lot, get a burger and fries. Soon as how much sodium's in that burger and fries.
Oh yeah, it'll be up there. Yeah, that's what you got to work out right after, right? Throw it up.
Boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
If it would only work that way. I could Moby squat myself out of it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you were talking about, we said in the beginning of the interview, you were a certified personal trainer. Obviously, with COVID, trying to do the whole in-person stuff has been a little challenging. And so maybe have you talk a little bit about what you're doing online, and then what you're also doing one-on-one.
Yeah, so we're doing a little bit of both. So we do have the in-person classes still, just for the people who want to do the in-person classes. They get a lot more out of it. Some people just hated Zoom and they were like, I can't do this, so they just went to the in-person classes. So we have those catered to them, and then we have Zoom classes. So it's kind of like the Brady Bunch squares. Everyone's around. We got everyone a nice freestanding bag, which have gone up originally you got yours for like $79. Now they're like $170. Just because everyone's at home. So all the in-home exercise equipment is shut up. But everyone has their freestanding bags that they use. And Karl thankfully has Angela.
A freestanding bag,
yeah, exactly. To do the focus mitts with Karl while he does the exercises. If you have a spouse willing to do that, it's obviously it's great, because having a physical person there in front of you is a little bit different than having just a big sponge bag or cloth bag or sand bag in front of you. I'm sure Karl, when we did the classes, Karl, even when we were doing heavy bags, then I came around with the focus mitts and you were hitting it. Night and day difference.
I have to tell you though, he does do a better job when Alec calls his name out.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks for the tip. Thanks for the tip.
The only problem is you could yell it the whole time.
Yeah. So we're doing the Zooms, and we're doing those Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. and then just Monday, Friday for our 1:30 class. And then we also have a bunch of YouTube videos. We filmed, I think, close to 100 YouTube videos throughout this past year of me and another coach, Coach Anne-Marie, doing some workouts at the gym, and kind of have you guys follow along at home and do the workout with us. And every workout we do in those YouTube videos are ones that we've done in class. So it's not just, some random stuff we threw out there. Same workout, we just do it for you, help you follow along as best as possible. We also do in the videos, we'll show you both versions. We'll show you the easy version. We'll show you the modified version, stuff like that. We'll put stuff on the ground. If you can't go on the ground, we'll show you the stuff standing up, stuff like that.
Where in-person classes?
In-person classes. So we have a Tyson's location off of Tycho Road. And they also have a Sterling, Loudoun County kind of location, which is right off of Route 7, Cascades Parkway over there. Two different gyms, obviously, but very nice. The gym owners are very nice, keeping it as clean as possible. And I'm just ready to get back and have a bunch of people running around the gym. Can't wait.
Well, and I do want to say a shout out for Anne-Marie. She is awesome.
Yeah.
She does a great job as your other coach.
My other coach, Frenchie. Oh yes, she's been a big help. Couldn't have done it without us for sure.
Yeah,
that's definitely for sure. She's
so
really
motivating in a different way.
Yeah. We're two completely different kind of
too.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're two different kind of people. I'm more intense and in your face, and she's intense too. But she's yeah.
She knows how to, especially on Wednesdays. She knows how to work on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah.
And Wednesday, we're in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, we're in the Northern Virginia area. So
if
anybody is interested, certainly we'll have Alec's information.
Or if you want to drop on by for passing by.
Yep. But I'm going to go back because I think we missed your getting you to talk about one-on-one.
Yes.
For some folks might not feel comfortable. They need some motivation. They need to see somebody. So.
Yeah, exactly. Some people, obviously just can't, get motivated on themselves. So that's originally how the business started. Initially was me going to people's houses for people who didn't want to go to the gym or had no motivation at home if they wanted to do a home workout. And now kind of COVID kind of, upped that a little bit. If you don't want to go to a gym, which a lot of people don't, going to your house with all the equipment, getting a workout there. Obviously there's no crowd. It's just the two of us, and I bring most of the equipment. Obviously it's good if they have equipment as well, but you get me for an hour, it's good experience. It's fun for me.
Well, also too, Alec, do you have some folks that maybe have a little more advanced?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's good for those people who are a little bit more advanced, can't drive, don't have someone to drive them to class. So I go to that's pretty much like half of them. The other half is people who are still working, or, busy throughout the day, that they want me to come to their house at 6 a.m. and do a workout with them before they get their day started. So that's kind of like the other half of people.
Because I did hear someone a long time ago at a Parkinson's conference said the best thing you can do is buy a gym membership. I would think that it would also apply to getting a personal trainer,
Yep,
especially
you're a personal trainer. Yep, to
has to
watch you. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, even some of my young friends, they're like, "Oh, I'm doing a workout," and they're showing me some stuff that they're doing. They're like, "I didn't even know what they're." I was following along this video, and I think I was doing it right. We're doing it right. They were gonna hurt. If they had any like weight or anything, they would have hurt themselves. So it's always good to have someone there to kind of poke you if you're doing something wrong, even if it's through Zoom call, right? I'm yelling you through Zoom, so it makes a difference.
Well, and if somebody hasn't worked out for a long time, it might
Mm-hmm.
be to prevent
Yep.
injury. It'd be good to
Yep.
talk to somebody like you.
And stretching.
Yep. Exactly. Because obviously they're doing something wrong, if they hurt themselves in the gym somehow, or again, just like our boxing is just kind of teaching those muscles to wake up and turning them on and having them all work together. Because a lot of people don't know how to do that, even if you have PD or not. A lot of people don't know how everything kind of works all together.
How long does it take you to get the rowing machine and the bicycle out of the car?
Yeah.
By himself.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, the trainer just hurt himself trying to get the life cycle
Yeah,
out of the car.
exactly.
I don't think he does that kind of training.
Okay.
I do not. I will for a little bit extra though.
And for
Triple my price.
your own chiropractic adjustment after
Yeah,
you
exactly.
out of the
Yeah.
Well, what I guess we're near the end. Core is if you're gonna talk about one of the most important things of all the things, would you say core is the key?
Definitely. Core, definitely the key. And a lot of people, when they think core, they just think, abs. That's not just your abs. I think one of the most important parts of your core is your hips. Actually, I think it's the most important. That kind of controls everything. Your low back's part of your core, side of your obliques over here, that's your core. So it's not just abs. I mean, abs are a very little part of it. But I think hips are just the most important, because hips are just a foundation of all the things we do. I mean, when you get up from this chair right now, you guys are going to be using your hips. When you get up from the toilet, you're going to be using your hips. And, when you pick up something from the ground, hips should be the thing that you go for. So definitely core. And boxing is great, obviously, because it's not just the core strengthening. It's, again, turning on those muscles, loosening them up, because obviously you guys are a lot tighter. So turning those hip muscles, especially those hip muscles that are very tight, using those. I mean, I'm core all the time. I mean, everything we do is core. Everything. I mean, the leg squats, everything. Every time we squat, we're using our core. Breathing. I mean, controlling your breathing. I mean, if you just suck your breath in right now, you're gonna feel your core tightening right now. So it's just a foundation of literally everything we do. Stuff with our arms, stuff with our legs, breathing. It's so I preach it all the time. And having a strong core is just will change everything for sure.
Well, and I'm gonna throw a caregiver question in here because say for instance somebody's sitting on the sidelines and not really doing any kind of exercise, and the caregiver or care partner or family member, thinks that it might be a huge benefit. How do you I don't know, I want to say partner with the care partner, but if somebody, say caregiver, reaches out to you and says, I'd like to get my loved one working, doing exercise.
Yeah.
How do you kind of get them
Motivated?
How could the caregiver get them motivated to even call you or be interested to meet with you?
Usually it's always the caregiver. Usually if the husband needs it, the wife's literally all the time want to call me every single time. It's pretty funny. Usually the wife just drags them along, tells them to do a pre-class assessment. Honestly, they just like, you're coming no matter what. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's a choice you have to make. I mean, you could bug I could bug as many people as I want, tell me to change, but you have to make a decision within yourself that you want to do this, you want to get better. that you can do this. I mean, I've seen people come from like rock bottom and they're just completely different people now. I've had people who've during my pre-class assessment where we do some tests to see where they're at. I've had people fall on their pre-class assessments, and they're, you know, and then they look back now, they're like completely different people. Like they because we reassess and we did the same tests and no problem. So you could start from anywhere, honestly, and there's always ways to get better. And you know, if you're consistent and you commit yourself enough and listen to what we say and figure it out, then there's only one way to go, and that's up. And I've seen improvement. Everyone we've reassessed in class has gotten better. I mean, it's the proof is in the pudding. We're doing the same exact tests. We're doing psychological tests. People have gotten better psychologically. They're more confident. Balance, strength. I mean, everything we've reassessed them on, they've gotten better. And it's just the consistency in doing it, and it's different when you're in a class too. You have other people there, so you're not just like, you're gonna stop. Oh, he's not stopping. I'm not stopping. And then it's just, it's just kind of, that's the beauty of the group class that I really like. Everyone kind of pushes each other, and everyone in class understands what you're going through. I mean, that makes a huge difference. And then, if you pop into just a regular class at like Gold's Gym, you may feel out of place, and but the class is just, you just gotta that's why one of the main things when new people contact me is you gotta see a class. Come in, see a class. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to take the assessment. You don't have to just watch a class and see the class, see how everyone's working out and getting along together. And a lot of people sometimes are intimidated by that. They're like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, well, that's where they're at now in class. That's not where they were when they started. They may look great now, but 6 months ago they were, again, falling during their pre-assessments and stuff like that, and just not, so it's just up to you. It's just the thing that you got to make within yourself, and showing up's half the battle. If you just do one class, most of the time they stick with it. I think like 99% of the time they stick with it because they enjoy it so much. So that's my spiel on that.
Well, if someone is a little intimidated about, which they shouldn't be, but if someone's intimidated about going to class because they're not they don't feel that they know they need it, but they're not ready to make.
Well, I think
make the jump.
Carl, would you say?
Uncertainty, apathy, anxiety. Can they pay for a home
Yep,
visit?
and they could do the in-home, exactly. And then if they feel confident enough, once they go in, oh, I know what I'm doing now, then more than welcome to join the class. Absolutely. That's kind of, I've had a few people who've done that, just to get a grip on things, and then it's off to the races there. But each one has their benefits, the one-on-one on the classes, obviously. And
can you also do something for the caregiver and the patient, the person with Parkinson's, to do a home start with the a visit.
You mean like the couple takes the personal training and
you do the couples, for sure. I mean, the focus mitts, obviously, I think is, one of the best things. I mean, again, people just react different when there's a person in front of them. Teaching the care partners, that was one of the things in class I love to do. It was teaching the care partners how to hold the focus mitts, and then they were in class, they were like, hold the mitts for their husband, and they ran over to someone else, and you're trying to, help everyone out. So they're like, oh, I could do it. Yeah, exactly. Angela.
The hard part was going from a lefty and a righty.
Oh yeah, that's the hardest. Oh yeah, that screws up with your head so much, for sure. Every single time you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, my numbers, where's the
everything just completely just flips. That's definitely the hardest part, is the lefty righty. Definitely. But the focus mitts is great. Getting the care partner, because then you can do it anytime. Anytime. And once Angela, once you figure it out, and it's
because
I
only
easy.
have one lefty. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Once you figure it out, and it's fun. It's fun for me, yelling out numbers and hearing the big smack on the mitts. Yeah, it's fun.
It is. It's very empowering. I think it's extremely
it definitely
empowering to see. For a while you just kind of leave the Parkinson somewhere else, and
exactly
all about the work.
Yeah, and I love like the aha moments. Remember when like Karl was like trying to figure out the hip with the hook, and then you get it, and everyone's like, oh, oh, because they feel it. They feel like they're like, oh, that's a lot stronger than me just going like this. If I just bring everything together, and it's just like, oh my God.
And I had shoulder pain for a while because I was doing it wrong.
Because you're just using the shoulder, right? Exactly. That's why, yeah. That's why I'm picky. Gotta be picky on it. But yeah, again, go
I
back.
had a good
Goes
trainer.
back to core. Yeah.
Alec, thank you very much for your time today. And,
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming to talk to us.
And thank you for what you do for the
Yeah.
community too, not just us, but
Yeah.
all the people, and sending your message out
Absolutely.
there. For
My
sure.
pleasure. I love doing it. It's fun.
You do a great job of it, and so does Anne Marie too. Just shout
Does
out.
Anne Marie? Yep. Yep.
We'll provide your information on this after.
Perfect. Sounds good. Yep. There's something for everyone. So whether you're all home or want to go out to a regular class, or want to do the YouTube, there's something for everyone. But even if you don't do meet, I mean, if you don't use my program to get started doing something, that's just my recommendation. If you don't want to do boxing, do yoga. If you want to do yoga, do dance, do something. There's something out there for everyone, and just to be active. And yeah, I just highly recommend to get out there, take that step.
Alec Langstein, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Be well.